Hi everyone, Lynn Hero here, one half of the SD Sisters duo. We are authorized reps and educators for AO Medical. Today we are going to be doing a demonstration for you of the updated Advanced Skin Brightening Facial using our wonderful SPICULES technology. So for purposes of our demo today, I have gone ahead and we've pre-cleansed our client's skin. And we're going to start with the rest of the protocol. And we do want to let you know that like all of the other protocols that we have, they are available in written form for download as well. We have them on the AO Medical website, as well as the SD Sisters Facebook group as well. So what we're going to start with this treatment after we've pre-cleansed, and we've gone ahead and used the Dr. SD moisture cleansing gel. And very soon we're going to have our HOP, House of PLLA, Pro Volumizing Mousse, and we'll be using that in lieu of the Dr. SD Moisturizing Cleansing Gel, just for a little extra benefit for the anti-aging client. So we're going to start off with some cold plasma. We have two options. You can use the Tonsure cold plasma device, or you can use the Dr. Platon. We're going to be using the Dr. Platon today. And the reason we do cold plasma with our facial treatments, especially our advanced facial treatments, is because cold plasma increases product penetration, and especially with the Dr. Platon, by 24% for the next 12 hours of the products that you're going to be penetrating. So they're going to get way extra benefit. Also, cold plasma is super beneficial for hyperpigmentation and particular melasma. So if a client is dealing with melasma or any hyperpigmentation issues, we're doing this treatment. The extra benefit of cold plasma for oxygenating the melanin in the skin and breaking that up is going to be an additional benefit. So we're going to be doing 5 minutes on each side of the face today. Our normal full standard, our treatments for Dr. Platon would be a full face would be 20 minutes, 10 minutes on each side. But for the addition in our facial treatments, we're doing 10 minutes total. So I'm going to start off with a level 5. She's already been used to having cold plasma treatments. And we're going to go ahead and start with the neck area. I hold the skin taut. And we do about 10 passes in one area, kind of a moderate speed. And then we're going to work our way up the face, forehead, and then we're going to continue on with the other side of the face. If a client is dealing with a lot of excess pigmentation under the eye area, I will switch out to the, swap out to the smaller head of the Dr. Platon device so I can get a little bit closer in under the eye area. For those of you not familiar with the Dr. Platon device, this is a wonderful device made in Korea. It comes from the same manufacturer as the Plasma and the Tonsure. And the Plasma is a fibroblast pen, and the Tonsure is an over-the-counter / you can use it in the treatment room as well, plasma device. And it has 3 head sizes. We've got a small for the eye area, the upper lip area, and then also a medium-sized head, which we use in the face, and a larger head that can be used on the body. And then they are sanitizable, so they last until you actually break them, which is wonderful. And the device has no need for stopping. There's no downtime, so no overheating of the device. So it's continuous use, which is wonderful. So a very effective and very efficient treatment. So I'm just gliding this very slowly, very gently. It's just hovering right above. It does touch the skin a little bit because the plasma is generated between the ceramic head and the skin. And so you know it's working if you smell it, you hear it, and the client will feel it. You know that the plasma is being created. So if you want to go ahead and do a few screenshots on the side profile, that's a really nice, fun thing to see the skin tightening on the sides of the face as well. I have a timer up here that will start with 10 minutes, and you can take a look, and at about the 5-minute mark, you can then swap over to the other side of the face. The cold plasma is always done on clean, dry skin, so there's never product that is below the device or on the face first. All of the product penetration is going to occur after due to the little channels that are created in the skin. So that's what's going to open the channels up to increase the product absorption and penetration. So everything that we add for the next 12 hours after the treatment is what's going to be absorbed into the skin better. The under eye area can be a little sensitive, so if you're working with that smaller tip, you're going to probably want to go down 1 or 2 levels just for the ease of comfort. When you go to the smaller head sizes, more of the energy is going to be concentrated in that small area, so it'll feel more intense to the client. Okay, then we're going to repeat on the other side of the face for the additional remaining 5 minutes. So after we've completed our cold plasma, and again, if you have the Tonsure, you can go ahead and use the Tonsure, do 10 minutes of that full face. Now we're going to be doing the goat milk peel. And we're going to be using the Dr. SD goat milk peel. Very soon, we're going to be having our HOP Pro Micro Peel come out, which is packed with the polylactic acid and growth factors. So we'll be substituting that in our protocol. But for now, we're going to go ahead and use our goat milk peel. Okay, so I've done about 6 or 7 pumps in there. And this is a peel that's left on 1 to 2 minutes. 1 minute for more sensitive skin, 2 minutes for less sensitive. And I do full face application, and then also we will be doing the neck area as well. And then we remove it with a warm towel. So because we did the cold plasma prior to applying the goat milk peel, the skin will absorb it more, so it'll be a little bit more effective, go in a little bit deeper. But this is still a lower level peel, so it's 18.5% total acids. The new micro peel is going to be 24.5%, so still low enough that it's not going to be an issue to do it post cold plasma treatment. And by the time you get this on, you're really waiting just like another minute or so, and then you're going to go ahead and remove it. You could use sponges or some 4x4 towels in water. I prefer to use a hot towel, so just shake it off a little bit so it's not too hot. It smells really nice. Leaves the skin feeling really soft and plump. A lot of the polyhydroxy acids in here are really great for lightening and brightening the skin as well. So each of the products that we're using in here in and of themselves are really great products for brightening. But we like to, Rachel and I, our favorite thing to do is really to combine a group of products and modalities to give maximum results for a specific issue. So in this case, the goal is to maximize brightening and lightening of the skin. So we are going to put together all these various pieces for maximum results. But again, if you just use the goat milk peel or even the Dr. Platon or any of the other products that we're using, you will still get great results. If you do not have one particular piece of the puzzle, one particular step, you can substitute for other things. So you could substitute with a lighter, like a 15% lactic peel or some enzyme treatment or something like that if you needed to. But otherwise, like I said, we work to really maximize results for you guys. So this will be left on for 30 seconds more, then we'll go ahead and remove. Okay, we're going to remove the peel with our warm towel. I just shake it out a little bit so it's just not super warm on the face at the same right way. You want to make sure that we're putting this on a peel but feeling comfortable with the client's skin. Okay. Okay, our next step, we are going to be working with our amazing Dr. SD Peel and Glow protocol. And just to let you guys know that even though it says peel and glow, it actually is not a peel. It is more, the better translation would be more revealing, great new skin. Okay, so it comes with packets and it comes with a couple different solutions. For purposes of our demonstration and the protocol that we're following today, we're going to be using the pearl powder, which has the spicules in it, along with volcanic ash, and we're going to be using the illuminating pearl drops. There is another solution for acne that is a different protocol. So for today, we're going to be using the illuminating pearl drops. And you can purchase the back bar bundles all together, separate for the acne facial, and then the other one for the advanced skin brightening facial. So that's easier for you guys to locate it on the website. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to take a little bowl here, a little silicone bowl. We are going to add 1 packet of the pearl powder with the spicules. And spicules, for those of you not familiar with spicules, They are little pieces that come from marine sponges, freshwater sponges from Europe, and they're all buffered. And they are kind of like these little sharp backbones of the sponges, okay? Like the vertebrae. So when they're used with skincare products, whether it's a powder form or it's a cream or another solution, it basically is used to create microchannels in the skin. So it's a needleless, needle-free microneedling or mesotherapy. Sometimes you hear it called that. And so this is going to allow not only for us to create the microchannels to help stimulate collagen, it also helps to additionally penetrate the product, whatever we're going to be putting into the skin. These spicules will stay implanted in the skin for the next 72 hours and they will self-release. But for purposes right now, we're going to be talking about how we apply it. And we're going to gently remove once the volcanic ash and the pearl powder dries. But then we're not going to do a lot of rubbing after that point. We're going to kind of minimize that kind of rubbing because the client will feel these little implanted spicules in the skin, and it can be a little sensitizing. Okay, so once we poured our powder, 1 packet, into our little dish here, I'm going to take a little scooper. We're going to be using this as a 5 ml scoop. So it's about 4 mLs. It says 4 mLs for the treatment. I usually do a little bit more because the powder is pretty thick. So I like to do a full 5 ml. The illuminating drop size here is actually 150 mLs, which gives you 30 treatments if you do 5 mLs. So it's quite a bit of product here. So again, I'm going to do a full little scooper, which is 5 mLs. I'm going to dump that in here. And then we are going to mix that. And it creates a nice little paste. I'll show you in just a second. It's a little liquidy paste. And then as it starts to dry, it's going to thicken. Okay, so it looks like this. Okay, now the client will feel this even just from the application with a brush. And then we're going to also go ahead and do a gentle massage. When we're massaging, if a client has very sensitive skin, we're going to do a very, very light massage. And we can work our way up to a medium or a little heavier massage depending on the skin type that we're dealing with. So if you had a lot of thicker skin, oily skin, a little bit of acne scarring, you're probably going to press a little bit harder into the skin. So can you feel that? Other than the touch, can you feel any of the little spicules, any little prickly feeling yet? Okay, so she's not really feeling anything yet, which is good. Some people will right away. So that just lets you know that they are a little bit more sensitive. And when you do start to apply pressure with the massage, you're going much lighter for that client. So the spicules are in the powder, in the pearl powder and the volcanic ash. I also want to let you guys know that volcanic ash, I have been using volcanic ash in skincare for 20 years. It is amazing. It has super great lightening and brightening properties in and of itself. So does the pearl powder. So this is something that's very unique, this particular combination. You'll see different types of spicules on the market in various forms, but combining this for lightening and brightening with the ash and the pearl powder is unique and very effective for brightening the skin. And you can go kind of right up over the orbital bone there too as well. So we'll definitely get some of the under eye area. And then we are going to bring it down the neck. Other side. So usually you can get, it starts to dry pretty quickly. So I usually massage for maybe a minute or 2 maximum, because it'll start to ball up a little bit as that ash powder and the pearl powder starts to dry. And then we're just going to let it sit on the skin for about 10 to 15 minutes maximum. Okay. So here we go. Gently. Can you feel that now? Okay. How's my pressure? Do you feel I can go a little?
It feels really nice.
Okay. So I'm going to go a little bit more. Can you feel that? Does it still feel okay or not too uncomfortable?
It feels
okay. So these will penetrate into the skin and actually work their way down to the dermis. So it is very, very effective. And again, for those of you who can't do microneedling in your state, this is a great alternative. So it's, again, a needleless microneedling. It will self-release these little spicules in the next 72 hours. So the big thing is to not be having the client rub their face much after this treatment, and even you, so that they don't get dislodged. And it's also less sensitizing to the client too. So for the next 72 hours, they're gonna basically be cleansing, moisturizing, and putting SPF on. That's about it. You feel them? Okay. And like I said, everyone's going to have a different level of comfort with this. Some people are going to feel it right away and really want you to go pretty lightly. And then others can tolerate a little bit more. So I'm probably doing medium pressure here for her right now. So as long as you can feel that slip and it still isn't dry, you can keep doing the little massage. But as soon as you start to feel it balling up a little bit, then you know it's time to just like stop and let it finish drying before you continue on with the next step. And that's going to be an additional 10 minutes or so. Okay, so I can feel it kind of starting to get to that little sandy effect. So I'm going to stop. At this point, you can go ahead and if you want to do a hand and arm massage, or you can do a scalp massage. This particular treatment is very hands-on for the rest of the facial, as you can see, whether we're doing the modality work, and we're going to be doing a lot of modality work at the back end here as well. So it's not really a lot of massage opportunity. So if you want to give a little extra pampering to the client, you don't have to, but you can go ahead and, like I said, do a scalp massage or a hand and arm massage at this time. Okay, so after 10 minutes, so I've already done the light massage to initially penetrate the spicules. Then I waited 10 minutes to let the volcanic ash pearl powder with spicules dry. So the key, the trick to getting this off with the least amount of discomfort for the client is you are going to take some warm water and you are going to take a stack of 4x4s, okay? You're going to put them in here because if you try to use a warm towel or sponges even, without letting this volcanic ash or pearl powder soften, it's going to be really irritating to the customer. So you want to make sure that we soften this. So I am going to go ahead and apply several of these, and they're pretty saturated here with water. So you want that to really break down that ash as much as possible before you start removing. Okay, so just kind of plopping these here. Okay, do a couple more, one for the neck area. Again, it's going to be maximizing. So it's going to, the customer is going to feel, the client's going to feel the spicules, but you want to minimize any additional discomfort. So I find this is the best way to go about removing the ash. Everything after this point in the facial is going to be left on. So once you get past this little hurdle here, you're good to go. Okay, so we're just letting that soften, just lightly pressing. Okay. Start with this, and you can see that it comes off really easily then. Can you feel that? Are you removing that? A little bit?
Really.
Not bad? Okay. So again, we're doing a little bit of, obviously rubbing just to get the product off, but it's really light. But it's way easier to do it when it's softened as opposed to when it's still hard. Okay. So by now they are implanted. So just a light amount of rubbing. So just again, just to get the product off, that's all we're looking for at this point. And even like I said, even if you're just doing the Peel and Glow program, you'll notice already a nice lightening and brightening of the skin. And at a day 3 or so, you might see a little bit, the client might see a little bit of sloughing or flaking at that point. Everybody's skin's a little bit different. So this is a process that over the course of the next week, they will continue to see added benefits. So it's not just simply what you see at the end of this one treatment. Just keep that in mind. And I'm just kind of lightly removing the product. And I'm going to finish up the neck area. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead then and just rinse out one of these 4x4s here. And then I'm going to do another pass just over the face and the neck area just to make sure I took off any remaining product. It's looking good. You may see a little bit of pink, kind of pop up on the skin. It's totally normal. Sometimes there's a little bit of swelling, but it's, again, completely normal. It's not going to be excessive. It just depends on the person's skin type, because you're now working with not only implanting the little spicules, we did do a little bit of rubbing right on the skin. Okay, so looks good. Base is all clean, ready for our next step. So next step is going to be working with our amazing Dr. SD Dr. Ion powder with 4 different types of powdered vitamin C. Super great for lightening and brightening. So we are going to go ahead and add a little bit of distilled water, or you can add some purified water. I've got some purified water here. Okay, if you have a hard time getting this off, once I pulled the first piece off, I just kind of bent that down, and then you should be able to get the other piece off easily enough. Okay, so the key for this is, I'm going to show you, there's not a lot of powder in here. Okay, so you're going to add about equal part or a little bit less of water. So it's just a small amount. So you're going to go really slowly. I've got it already kind of in a dish here, a little jar. Okay, so just a little bit. So you want it to be, okay, that's about it. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that little rubber cap back on, and we're going to go ahead and shake, 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 shake. Keep shaking until that is completely dissolved. The key for penetration with the Dr. Ion is you need to use either galvanic, iontophoresis, galvanic, or ultrasound. Because we've already worked with and worked in the spicules, we are not going to be doing or recommending ultrasound, which would be our Time Master Pro, because it's going to be a lot of rubbing, and it's going to be really an intense feeling with the spicules in the skin. So our preference with the penetration of the Dr. Ion, if you're working with the spicule treatment, is to use the galvanic. And we're using our Tonsure galvanic for purposes of our Advanced Skin Brightening Facial. Again, if you were not going to be doing the spicule portion, the peel and glow portion, you could definitely go ahead and do a full 10-minute Time Master Pro ultrasonic treatment with the Dr. Ion serum. And then you're getting the extra benefits of the LED as well. Okay, so because this is complete liquid right now, you have a few different ways that you can apply it. You can go ahead and take a 4x4 and kind of rub it in. You could put it in a dish and then use a brush, or you could just simply apply a little bit topically. Now remember, it's pretty watery, so you just apply a little bit and then you make sure you press into the skin. So I'm just going to go ahead and apply a little bit on the forehead here. Okay. A little bit on the cheek, and work my way down. So you're going to be using the entire bottle of product, the entire contents of the bottle here. And like I said, if it's a little too watery for you and you guys want to work with a 4x4 and kind of put it in there, I'll go ahead and show you what that looks like as well. So you can go ahead and take a 4x4, fold it over just if like you're going to do a peel. And then you can kind of go ahead and blot on the skin that way as well. Or you can go ahead and use a brush. So my preference is just to go ahead and kind of work with my hands and apply it. And again, if you use a little bit less water, it will be a little less liquidy. And then I just kind of prefer to just kind of blot it on the skin, again, because those spicules are embedded. And we want to make sure we're not rubbing too much on the face. Bones. Okay. And again, it's just a small amount in here because once you've had the powder and you add the water, you're probably looking at like, you know, the bottom eighth of the bottle here. Okay, so now we're going to take our Tonsure and we're using the galvanic head. And for those of you not familiar with this device, it has a cold plasma head attachment and it also has the galvanic head. We're going to go ahead and turn the device on with the lower button. Then it's got a low level and a higher level. So the low level is blue, the higher level would be red. I'm going to go ahead and push higher level for product penetration. And then the middle button is what's going to turn it on. And so you're going to see that it glows red. If you had the actual cold plasma head, it'd be glowing blue up here. Okay, so we are going to ground the device. There's 2 bars, one on each side. That's what we're going to be holding when we're working with our device for our galvanic to ground the system. So that the client does not have to do any grounding. There's not holding a ground. It's not going through the heart area. It's just going to be more of a superficial galvanic approach, which is really nice. I prefer this. So this is going to be a real light touch. Basically, the client really doesn't feel it. So galvanic is really gentle. It's not stimulating like electromuscle stimulation or microcurrent. So the client really doesn't feel much. So it's a light touch. So again, you're not going to push super hard because we've got those spicules in here. So the whole purpose of the galvanic treatment is really to increase product penetration. And that's what activates the vitamin C. And this is going to be left on. So the rest of everything that we're doing in this facial is going to be leave on. The client will not wash their face until tomorrow. So we're probably going to do about 2 or 3 minutes total of the galvanic. And you can feel, if it feels like you got a little less slip going, you can make sure you just added the rest of the contents here. So I had a little bit more. And a lot of it will absorb pretty quickly into the skin. So you've got those microchannels created from the cold plasma, and then you have the microchannels created as well with the spicules. So the product's going to absorb in pretty quickly. You'll see that. A little bit left on my 4x4 here, so I'm just adding that back. Okay, so when you hear the buzzard go off, that is 2.5 minutes. So I'm going to turn this off now. The next step is to go ahead and apply our solution fit. This is our melatonin sheet mask that's packed with tranexamic acid, niacinamide, adenosine. These are great ingredients for lightening and brightening, again, in and of themselves. So we have the Vita C ampule that stays on, which is penetrated. We're now going to go ahead and put the sheet mask on, and we're going to do some more galvanic on top of this to further penetrate all these amazing, great ingredients. Now, if you want to use microcurrent, you can go ahead and do that, something very light. But remember, we've got these spicules embedded. So I think something a little bit on the more gentle side, the better. My major priority at this point is for product penetration, not so much for lifting at this time. But if you do a really light microcurrent, that would assist in product penetration too. So again, it's not supposed to be a really intense treatment. The purpose is really to assist in penetrating the product better. So we can go ahead and do some more galvanic on top of this. So this is going to also further penetrate by doing the galvanic on top of this. It'll further penetrate the vitamin C as well. So we're going to go back, turn on our galvanic. Level 2. Start. So the mask will be left on for a good 10 minutes or so. So if you'd like to do a full 5 minutes of the galvanic, you can go ahead and do that. I like to do about 2.5 minutes on this side of the face, and then the device will beep at the 2.5 minute mark, and then you swap over to the other side of the face. And again, just very light pressure because we've got those spicules embedded. And I highly recommend you guys trying the facials on yourselves as well, so you understand how these feel. I'm a firm believer in that with pretty much anything that you guys do in the field of aesthetics, whether it's waxing, getting, your lashes done or whatever. You want to make sure that you have an experience so you know what your clients are feeling as well. This particular treatment is great for all skin types, great for all Fitzpatrick levels. So a very versatile treatment, again, for you. And again, when you have clients that can't use microneedling, for example, this is going to be a really great alternative. But because of all the wonderful ingredients we have from the various products that we're using here and modalities, this is a really kicked up treatment for clients dealing with hyperpigmentation and melasma. And other than maybe the little pressure and the client's feeling the spicules, there's really, again, very minimal feel to the galvanic itself being used on the skin. And we have our hands on each side of the bars here for grounding purposes. Does it feel okay? Do you feel the little spicule still? No, not really? Good. There is quite a bit of barrier with the sheet mask here, so it's nice the client's not going to feel too much of the spicules underneath. There will be product left over, so if you want to fold the sheet mask up and let the client use it the next night before bed, you can go ahead and do that. I definitely feel you can get a second use out of this for your clients. I simply fold it up, put it in a little baggie, and they can take that with them to go. But they won't be doing any washing of the face for the next 12 hours minimum. So I usually just tell my clients, don't wash until tomorrow. When they do wash, it's going to be 72 hours. It's going to be wash, gentle cleanse, light moisturization, and SPF during the day. And that's it. Okay, so you heard the beep. We're now going to rotate other side of the face. And you can bring enough of that product down that even though the sheet mask does not go that far down the neck, you can still bring some of the product down and still work the neck area as well. Okay, we've completed 5 minutes here. And then the clients will sit with the mask for an additional 5 minutes. And then we will gently fold that off and put it back into the foil packet. You can then fold this over and send this home with a client. They can keep it in the fridge and use it the next night. Okay, so after 10 minutes, and again, you are able to do an additional little massage if you feel like doing that during that 5 minutes, or just let the client rest. And then you're going to gently remove this. And like I said, you can definitely get one more, your client can get one more use out of it because there's enough product left in here. So I'm going to go ahead and fold that over for the client, save that for later. Okay, so you can see that there's a little bit of pinky going on. That's natural. It's normal at this point. So they just got a lot of nice coloration. Do you feel anything? You don't feel any irritation or anything? Nope. So client feels fine, just a little pinky. And then we're going to go ahead and in our protocol, you're going to see that we're going to be using the Dr. SD Whitening A Serum that has niacinamide, glutathione, vitamins B and C. But what I would like to mention in addition, if you have a client that's dealing with melasma, one of my favorite products to add to their home care regimen, and you can also add it to the treatment room, is the Dr. SD Vita C Ampule, because this contains an alpha melite complex, which suppresses melanin. So for purposes of our demo today, even though our protocol shows this not in there, I want to go ahead and just add a little bit just to show you how I would add that first, because we always want to add thinnest to thickest. And since I'm getting a little bit low here, I'm just going to go ahead and pour some into my hand. So I'm using probably a good half, 3/4 of an ampule. I'm going to press this into the skin. So you're always applying thinnest to thickest. Okay. And then we're going to go ahead and apply our Dr. SD Whitening A Brightening Serum. This is definitely one of our must-have home care items for the clients dealing with hyperpigmentation. Add a little bit of that. It's a very light serum, so it's not clear. It has a little opaqueness. It's just a little bit thicker than the Vita C Ampule from Dr. SD. So love this one too. And this just to kind of seal everything in if you guys want to. She's got a lot of moisture and liquid right now in the face. If you wanted to seal things in right now, because I added that Vita C Ampule, I'm not going to be adding the stem cell mist, but you can go ahead and mist that on. That kind of just like sets everything. So I'm going to forgo that just because we've got a lot going on here. And then I'm going to add our final step, which is the all mineral HOP SPF 50. And this is my favorite sunscreen, good through a Fitzpatrick 5. So we're going to go ahead and we're just going to apply a little bit of this. It's going to take a little bit of effort just to make sure that it absorbs in properly because you have so much product on the skin at this point. So usually if the all mineral sunscreen leaves a little bit of a white tint, sometimes it's because either you put too much on, and other times it's because the skin is very hydrated. But it does go up to a Fitzpatrick or is suitable for up to a Fitzpatrick 5. So I'm just letting you guys know that if you are applying it and you're like, hey, there's still like a little bit of a white cast here, that's simply because we have a lot going on. There's a lot of product still left on the skin. So if you want to take your before or your after photos before you put your sunscreen on, you can go ahead and do that. If it's nighttime, you do not have to go ahead and apply sunscreen. If it's, evening hours, winter, and there's no sun out, you can go ahead and skip that last step. And I always go ahead and make sure that I'm working around the eye area. All mineral sunscreen does not cause any burning to the eyes. So I make sure that I protect the eye area as well. Okay, and then you can finish with the HOP lip and eye repair cream. And the skin looks really light, really bright, and the client will continue to see changes over the next several days as those spicules keep doing their job for the next several days. Hope you enjoyed this facial as much as we enjoy the facial, getting some fabulous results. If you guys are interested in reaching out to us, Rachel and I can be reached at sdsisters.aomedusa@gmail.com, or you can reach us on Instagram at the_SD_sisters. And you can also call us at 414-469-7260. Look forward to connecting with you guys and talk to you soon.